from Cusco. We have just enjoyed another delicious breakfast here at our accommodation, and it's amazing because from the terrace you get these absolutely stunning views of the city. Just take a look at this.
In the interest of full disclosure, this is actually our third day here in Cusco, but we haven't been doing anything other than acclimatizing to the altitude. When I was here last time, I made the mistake of not doing that and I got pretty bad altitude sickness. Fortunately, this time, neither of us have been affected too badly. We did have a little bit of fuzziness in the head, minor headaches, and of course the biggest thing is that you just breathe so heavily when doing normal daily activities. So for anyone who is coming here, we definitely recommend acclimatizing for a few days.
Yeah, you are 3,400 meters above sea level here, and for most people that is an altitude that you are not going to be accustomed to, so you definitely need to acclimatize before doing anything. But now that we have, it's time to actually do some stuff in Cusco for the first time, and of course one of the favorite things that we love to do whenever we're in a new city is to do a free walking tour. So that's what we're going to start with this morning.
But before we head out, we are actually going to go to a very cute little cafe. We discovered it's only 2 doors down from our hotel, and we need more than 1 cup of coffee. So let's head out. Cheers, babe.
Cheers. Onwards to the tour.
The area of Cusco has been inhabited for over 3,000 years. The most famous of those inhabitants are the Quilca between the 10th and 13th centuries, the Incas between the 13th and 16th centuries, and the Spanish who colonized the city in 1533.
Plaza de Armas, also known as Plaza Mayor, has always been the main square in Cusco. Originally, the Inca Empire transformed what was a swamp into the administrative, religious, and cultural center of their capital city. Nowadays, it is home to the Spanish-built Iglesia de la Compañía de Jesús and Cathedral Basilica of the Virgin of Assumption. There is also a statue of Pachacuti, the most important Incan emperor, who rebuilt Cusco and expanded the empire as far north as Colombia and as far south as Chile.
Spanish colonizers destroyed many Inca temples and palaces and built a new city on top of the remaining walls and bases of buildings. The convent of Santo Domingo was indeed built on top of the foundations of Coricancha, or Golden Palace, which contained the most important sanctuary dedicated to the Inca sun god Inti.
San Blas Church was built in 1545 on top of a former Inca temple dedicated to the god of thunder. The neighborhood is famous for its steep and narrow streets lined with old Spanish colonial houses built in the 16th and 17th centuries that now house pubs, restaurants, cafes, workshops, and craft shops. We were treated to some breathtaking views of the city below from the San Blas lookout.
And I really hope that you enjoy this walking tour as much as I enjoy to be with you guys. It's a great group. Salud!
Salud! Cheers!
Oh, I of this.
We've just finished our walking tour. Our guide Isa was incredible. He was so knowledgeable and presented all of his knowledge in such a good way that we just were able to take as much of it in as possible. We weren't just talk through the history of the Spanish colonialization of this area, but also about the Inca Empire and even before that. So we got a very comprehensive history of this beautiful city.
And it was so nice to finish up the tour with the most spectacular view of the city. But that's not the only view we have for you today. I feel like you got a view with our breakfast to end the tour, and the restaurant that we're going to be heading to for lunch also has an incredible view of the city. So we can't wait to take you with us now. As you all know, Nick and I are budget travelers. We're backpacking the world, so we're always looking for cheap but delicious local food. And this is one of the places that I would say is not the cheapest in the city by far, but it's probably the most affordable, luxurious restaurant that you can come to in this city. What I mean by that is that they have a huge selection of local food. It is delicious, the portions are large, and you get the most incredible view of the city from here. We did a lot of research to find out what restaurant provided an amazing view as well as decent prices on local food, and this was by far and away the winner in terms of value for money. So the reason I know all this is because while we were acclimatizing, we actually did come here. It turns out it's literally up the road from our accommodation, so it couldn't be more convenient, and we cannot wait to share it with you.
Since this is a menú del día, then we do get a starter included with this. So what Rachel has is called a palta a la vinaigreta, which is an avocado salad with a bit of bread on the side. And I have gone for a quinoa soup, and it smells utterly amazing. I wish you could smell it with me. I'm so excited to try this.
Chef's kiss? Absolutely.
For lunch, I have decided to have lomo saltado, which is a very popular dish here in Peru. It's pretty basic and simple, however, it is packed full of flavor. It is beef with a ton of vegetables. There are potatoes mixed in, and it's served with some rice. And the flavor is just incredible. The beef is tender, and highly recommend that if you come to Peru, you try lomo saltado.
As for me, what I've got after an absolutely delicious soup is a Peruvian speciality, which is a recipe that has been passed down for centuries, but to a lot of people outside of Peru might be a little bit unconventional and might put some people off. Yes, I am talking about the fact that in Peru they do eat guinea pig, also known locally as cuy. But as you can see, it's very, very nicely presented. I figured that since we are in Peru for a while, I want to immerse myself in a proper Peruvian food experience. And so, here we go. Actually, that is lovely. It's been clearly well fried and stuff like that, but the meat inside tastes basically identical to chicken, so that is going to make this a lot easier to get through. But yeah, all in all, a very decent first experience of eating guinea pig. After initially attacking it with a knife and fork, I was reliably informed by our server that actually the local way to eat it is basically like having fried chicken. So I'm going to eat this with my hands from now on to fit in. Can confirm, still delicious. And how was that for you?
Just as good the second time. I mean, you can tell I've wiped my plate clean. And your final thoughts?
As you can tell, I absolutely hated it. I have been told that basically eating guinea pig was just like eating chicken, and really it's a very similar kind of experience. It was a delicious plate of food, and honestly, if I had the option, I would probably do it again. In case you want to recreate this experience for yourself, then this particular restaurant does their menu del dia at 20 soles, which is maybe a little bit more expensive as an almuerzo option than most places, but as you can see, the quality of the food makes this well worth it. The base menu is something that Rachel chose, and that's how she got the lomo saltado, but they do also have options of paying a little bit extra for more specialized dishes. And that is how I got the guinea pigs. I believe that mine was an additional 15 soles on top of what you would normally pay for the menu del dia. So that is just a consideration. But to be honest with you, even just going off the base menu, you can still get some of the best food that we have tried in Peru so far.
So the total for this meal for us was 55 soles. So considering the fact that we both got 2 courses, that's amazing. And again, I can't reiterate enough how this is probably the most affordable, luxurious menu del dia that you're going to get in the city. However, in upcoming videos, we have found probably the absolute best value for money almuerzos elsewhere in the city. They're definitely the cheapest, but they are still delicious. So we will make sure to show you where to get the cheapest almuerzos if this is still a little bit out of your budget.
Another thing to note is for the more adventurous eaters like myself who do want to give local delicacies such as guinea pig a go, then I hate to say that it is going to cost you a pretty penny. However, another reason why we chose to come back to this restaurant is because actually they do the cheapest cuy dish that we have seen in the entirety of Cusco so far. So just bear that in mind if you do choose to come here. As for what we're going to be doing now, we've obviously had a pretty jam-packed day as it is, but we have another equally jam-packed day tomorrow for which we have a ridiculously early start. So with that, we are going to call it here, but we will look forward to catching up with you all tomorrow. Until next time, take care.
And keep smiling.